What I love about this movie is that it's got everything you would want in a film. It's got lovable characters, an interesting story, a surprising twist. It's so well crafted. How did you come up with the idea?
Um, Thank you. I came up with the idea just over 4 years ago. I was sitting in my office one night. I think I might have been hungry at the time, but I also just wanted to just stretch myself creatively and come up with an idea for an animated short. And, anytime I start coming up with ideas for stories, I just start thinking about the things that I love, the things that I want to see on the big screen. One of them is food, because I'm a huge foodie. So dumplings came to mind, and from there I started, drawing. I started drawing this character, this mom character, nuzzling this little baby dumpling boy to death. And from that drawing, I started to keep developing the idea. I started weaving in my own personal experience of being an only child, being that overprotected little dumpling, from my Chinese mom and dad, and just started crafting the story very slowly throughout the years. And in 2015, I pitched it to Pixar as a potential short film, and that's when it was greenlit. And that's when we got the ball rolling even more on developing it. But the story was always the same. It was the same basic beats of like lonely, empty nester mom. Dumpling comes to life for her one day, raises it, big surprise at the end, and final family coming together around the dining table. So, yeah.
I love that the film is set in Toronto. When you had it greenlit, was there any resistance to having it set in a Canadian city?
No, not at all. We came up with the idea to set it in Toronto later on, actually, when we were greenlit, and we were talking about the location and the design of the sets and the props. And I was like, why not set it in Toronto? Since this story is like loosely based on my own life, and I'm from Toronto, like why not set it in my hometown and pay homage to this city? And there was no resistance. Actually, it's much more helpful for the art department to have real life references when they're designing the sets, because everything in the short has to be built like from scratch. Like we have to draw like blueprints basically. So it was really helpful to like draw pictures of the TTC, of Chinatown in Toronto, of the CN Tower, and be like, okay, just use these as reference and put them in the short. And for me, I thought that setting the short in a real location really grounded it, really made the story feel like it could actually happen to real people. It made the characters more empathetic because they were kind of living in this real environment, not just like a generic town. So, yeah.
Was there a movie that inspired you as a child to want to become an animator?
Yeah, lots of movies, lots of Disney movies, but my favorite growing up, which I watched a little later on in my childhood, was Spirited Away by Hayao Miyazaki. I just love, I think it's the perfect film. It's just about this girl, this little frumpy girl who goes on this crazy magical adventure in the spirit world to save her parents. And I just love the attention to detail in the film, especially like with all of the food shots. I thought the food looked so delicious in this movie, and that was definitely that stayed with me when I was making this short as well. I wanted the food to look as good as the food in a Hayao Miyazaki film. But also like how he effortlessly blends like real feelings of like a girl growing up and going through adolescence and maturity with like the magic of a spirit world. And I kind of wanted to do that with Bao too, just like blend in magic with realism in that way.
Now that you've directed Bao, what's next for you? What can we see from you?
Very excited to say that I'm in the early stages of development right now on my own feature film at Pixar. So that's what I'm working on next, and I'm really excited about it.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much for talking to me, and congratulations on this film. It's just amazing.
Thank you so much.